World War II, a global conflict. World War II, also known as the Second World War, was a global war that lasted from 1939 to 1945. It was the deadliest conflict in human history, involving the vast majority of the world's countries, including all of the great powers, forming two opposing military alliances, the Allies and the Axis. The seeds of World War II were sown in the aftermath of World War I, which left Europe in a state of economic and political turmoil. The war began on September 1, 1939, when Nazi Germany invaded Poland. France and the United Kingdom, which had pledged to defend Poland's independence, declared war on Germany on September 3. The war in Europe raged from 1939 to 1945. In the early years of the war, Germany achieved stunning victories, conquering much of Europe. However, the tide began to turn in 1942, when the Allies began to gain the upper hand. In 1944, the Allies launched a massive invasion of France, which led to the collapse of the German front and the liberation of Paris. In 1945, the Soviets invaded Germany from the east, and the German army surrendered on May 8, 1945. The war in Europe was a brutal and costly conflict, resulting in the deaths of millions of people, both military and civilian. While the war in Europe was raging, another conflict was also taking place in Asia. In 1937, Japan invaded China, beginning a long and bloody war. In 1941, Japan launched a surprise attack on Pearl Harbor, bringing the United States into the war. The war in Asia continued until Japan's surrender on September 2, 1945. World War II was a watershed moment in human history. It led to the deaths of over 60 million people, both military and civilian. The war also resulted in the collapse of the European colonial empires and the rise of the United States and the Soviet Union as the two superpowers of the Cold War.